So, dear friends, welcome back to the discussion. In the last few sessions, we have been discussing about um, the concept of circular flow of income and expenditure, which depicts how the economy works and how the economic activity takes place in the economy. It is a graphical representation. We started with the basic participants of the circular flow, like household and business firms. Household being the basic consuming unit, business firms are the basic producing units. Okay, and we extended how when the what is the link between these two participants in terms of the factor inputs provided by the household in terms of land, labor, capital, and enterprise, and the reward they generate in terms of rent, wages, interest, profits. We extended this discussion with application of different markets like the automobile market, the real estate market, uh, and how this link happens between these two. And we also discuss further the other participants of this economic activities in the circular flow, which actually depicts how the economy works: the government, the financial institution, and the foreign sector. And we discussed what is the relationship between each of these sector, and how this all these sectors together constitute an economy for that matter. Okay. Now we'll before we go, when we say about discuss and describe anything about the economy, we need to understand there are various theories which play a crucial role in analyzing the various factors of production. Because the various factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, constitute the basic link and generate the basic activity in the economy. So there are some key theories which explain the working of these factors and how they generate rewards. They are known as the what we call theory of factors of production. Okay, so let us now see this theory of factors of production. Okay, the theory of factors of production are known as respectively the theory of wages, the theory of rent, theory of interest, and theory of profit. Based on the rewards these factor of inputs get. We know wage is the reward for the labor, and rent is the reward for the landowner, and interest is the reward for the capital investor, and profit is the premium or the reward for the entrepreneur. Okay, so as we see, the basic logic of this reward operates from the sense that we know that any input gets its reward. For example, if you are a skilled labor, if you are in high demand, because there's a shortage of supply of skilled labor, you get a high value and price in the market. Okay, so according to your contribution, you get your reward. And all these theories are designed in the same way. The only thing is we know it very clearly why certain factors are getting high reward and others. But hundreds of years back, the economists would agree, could see what could be the trend in the future. And so they say that the what do you call the price of a factor of production depends upon the demand and supply of the factor of production. The supply is in shortage, obviously they get a better price. Number two, all the demand or whatever factors of production is a derived demand. We discussed this in the case of circular flow. What is this derived demand? When you buy a car, you indirectly create an industry for demand for a tire industry, maybe the steel industry, the glass industry, fuel industry, and many other industries. Okay, similar in the case of real estate. What you buy when you buy a house. So every factor in the world, in the economy, depends upon other factor. That is called derived demand. So what happens here is, um, so these factors play very crucial: demand and supply, and derived demand. Another thing is, every factor is, when we say every factor is rewarded according to its contribution, economists put in such a way that they say that every factor is paid according to its marginal productivity. We know what is marginal. We have discussed this earlier. That is productivity, we know it. Marginal productivity means for every step, how much you contribute. Interesting. Today, most of the wages in the sense I say salaries, compensations, especially in the private sector, are paid according to not just an what do you say? They are not paid just as a fixed payment, and there is a variable component as a part of it, according to your what is it linked to your performance. Something similar to what economist talks about. You are rewarded according to marginal productivity, and they could visualize it hundreds of years back. So I would say a larger extent, the current practices have been already predicted and probably theorized by economists, or probably if you see it go deeper into theory, most of the practices of the business practices which are followed currently have probably their origin in many of these economics theories. Okay, let us see one such. We say the factor of production. The income of a factor depends upon the price determined by the interaction of demand and supply forces in the free market. The demand of a factor of production is a derived demand. That's what we discuss. Depends upon the demand for the goods that it helps to make. The marginal productivity theory of distribution states that in equilibrium, each factor will be paid on the basis of marginal productivity. So the demand supply factor, the derived demand factor, the marginal productivity factor determines the price. For example, theory of wages, you can see here. A demand for a labor, how does it determine? A profit maximizing firm will increase production up to the point, okay, at which the last unit of labor employed adds equal amount of cost and revenue. Basically, I'm saying that I'm going to pay and count every rupee or dollar, so that for every rupee or dollar I pay you, you need to give me equal rewards. And I'm going to pay until the time whatever cost I incur on you should be equally returned. Thus, a profit maximizing firm will hire units of labor up to the point where the marginal cost of labor, the wage rate of labor, equals to the marginal revenue on the revenue product. So I'm going to pay you, if I'm going to pay you 1 rupee, you need at least give me minimum 1 rupee or more. And that's the system prevails in any business transactions today. Otherwise, you are a non-performer. Supply of labor. What economists say is the supply of labor in the economy refers to there are 2 or 3 factors. One is the number of population of the country, and a number of people who are willing to work within the population, a number of hours they are willing to work at a given wage rate. Like we see very clearly in highly populated country, where there are many people who are willing to work, many people who are willing to work for many hours, okay, to increase their standard of living and at probably affordable wage rate for an employer. Hence, there is very, what do you say, the market is highly competitive, okay. So the labor force in an economy, like what we say supply of labor, refers to the number of people who are able and willing to work. The total number of hours the labor force is willing to work indicates the supply of labor. The supply of labor depends upon the size of the population, the proportion of population willing to work, and the number of hours they are willing to work at a given wage rate. We know how competitive the situation is. There are many people from day-to-day wage earners in this country to high-flying corporate executives and government officials, to a large extent the private sector, are willing to work for more hours to generate additional revenue and prosperity. There's no doubt about it. Okay, and it's very competitive because there are more number of people, since the population also very high, and more people are getting qualified day by day, and that also makes the situation very competitive because the supply sometimes outstrips the demand in certain sector. Okay, thank you. We'll catch up with the next discussion.